and welcome back to another episode here at the Panorama Brand Studio podcast. Today is a very special day because we have a very special guest. I am here right now with the one and only Christina Franco.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
We're doing good.
This is good.
Last time we did an episode with somebody new that we actually are very excited that we actually been doing some co-hosting with, and I want her to kind of present herself as well.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Gila Vale. I am a broadcast journalist here in Houston, Texas. I love podcasts and radio production, and I am so glad that I am here at Panorama Studios because the vibes are great.
Awesome.
Her energy.
Yeah, good energy.
Yes, the energy. There we go.
We have a great co-founder too.
Yes.
And Jesus Ortiz.
Yeah,
the real
what's
Jesus
up,
Ortiz.
guys? Man, I'm just happy to have Christina here. We haven't talked in a bit, but I'm following her every day. We know we talked and everything. So that's what it is about having a relationship, even if it's 5-6 months, but you know a little bit behind what they're still doing and what I'm still doing. And it's a blessing to, actually meet you. Because you're not a friend, you're family.
Thank you.
So Christina.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about you. What is it that you do?
It used to be real hard to explain myself when people would say, "Who is Christina?" I'd be like, shoot, I don't know. Where do you want me to start? No, basically, I'm just, a simple person, born and raised in Houston, Texas, been here all my life.
Yeah.
Only visited a few other places, but really home is home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I really try to just stay stuck in my community. It's what's well rooted in me. And my community is what's helped me grow. No matter what, I can go anywhere, but my community is what's really supported me and give me, a lot of insights on my own ventures,
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So that's me. I mean, wow. I started young, 18, been married for 33 years and have,
right.
4 kids, 9 grandkids, which are girls, and 1 boy, so 10 total. But yeah, so I started.
Family. That's
it's
awesome.
a big family.
That's beautiful.
It's a big family.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
So what are you working on right now that's like gets you excited?
Right now, I've noticed there's been a lot. I've been in real estate all my life. Mm-hmm. So being in real estate, that there's an in and an out and an up and a down. Right. But you have to know how to duck and dodge and run with it. You just don't know. But when you're in real estate, you have to be ready for the financial booms. That's the biggest thing in real estate. A lot of people say, and you'll hear a lot of people saying, oh, you can retire on real estate. It depends on how you formulated your lifestyle. If you went and you invested and you let it pay itself off to where you retire and then you're actually getting 100% of the revenue you collect, then it makes sense. Yes, you could possibly retire. But if I'm going to buy something and invest in it and my cash flow is 300 times 10 units, that's $3,000. That's a job.
Yeah,
I could have just stayed safe, kept working, not put the stress on my family, not put the stress on my friends and your surroundings, because you're an asshole when you're broke. You're an asshole when you're financially struggling.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there flexing, and it's like I look at them like, you poor thing, you poor thing, because I know what that flex was like. And I think I was rica, pobre rica, poor rich girl. I was hood rich. I lived in the hood. My house was paid off. Cars were paid off. So when money came to me and properties paid off, I felt rich. But after 2012 that I started doing wholesaling and investing really hard, I started getting mortgages and different things like that. And that's a stress on your neck. It's not, I wasn't educated financially because I had bad habits. I'd buy cars, I'd buy things.
Material things.
Yes, and it wasn't necessities until I started learning the difference between, what was an asset and a liability.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when I started becoming a very frugal person. And they say majority of the people that live wealthy are very frugal, or they dress very simple. They're not out there being too flashy or whatnot, because of the fact they know that if we are leaders now and we need to lead, we need to be realistic and lead people in the right direction. And I'm not
Makes
trying to
sense.
lead anybody into crash into a wall
Oh, no.
financially. It causes divorce. It causes separation. It causes breakups in friendships, relationships. And mind you, when you start growing, people will try to separate you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the first breakup you get. It's not your marriage, your wife, and them will always probably stick to you longer than what your friends and your business, colleagues would stick to you, because it becomes a competition. Everybody wants to get to the top of the ladder and ring the bell first. You
So
know.
it gets very competitive out there.
So sometimes you have to just say, yeah, go ahead, go ring that bell. I'm going to wait right here. But I'll see you when you come back down. Because there's going to be a point you're going to have to come back down. Because if you got up there fast, you're not educated enough. You don't have no suave to you.
Yeah.
There's nothing conforming to you, to the people in your new group.
Yes.
You just walked in a room.
Yeah.
But do you really fit in? No. Because you don't come from their backgrounds. You're not educated. You haven't maneuvered yourself. You just walked in. So if that made any
But
sense.
you have to develop yourself.
did.
You have to
Yeah.
learn about different things that they're
Right,
doing.
right.
So you can actually not really fit in, but like be at that level that you want to be in.
Right.
But it's so interesting. And if y'all have any questions, but it's so interesting how you said that those $3,000, it was like a paycheck type of thing.
Yeah.
Where if you would have just done that, there's no point of all the struggles, all the hustle, everything you've done to build everything into these points.
Right.
Versus, can you share a little bit more of that strategy that you actually took to be able to be like better in that sense?
I think it was a wake up call for me because I inherited in a way. I called it inheritance because they're not my family, but there's people who are landlords like myself that get tired. Imagine my kids, I raised them learning, but when you don't raise your kids learning and understanding, they hate what you do because you're here 90% of the time. You're here, I'm out there, and our kids are like, where's mom? Where's dad? You didn't show up. Where were you? So we have to know, what is your true legacy? What are you doing it for? You know, are you doing it for the hype of the friends, or are you really doing it for your kids? Because then it ends up being you're really doing it for yourself. You know, so I had an epiphany. I mean, I just woke up one day and I said, you know what, this isn't me. You know, I'm not out there. I don't need 100 people, because 100 people didn't get me where I'm at. Okay, I'm a book of knowledge. I'm an open book. You know that. But people are welcome to ask me questions. But sometimes I have to know when I am and am not available, and it's okay to say no. So that's what was costing me the most. When I sit somewhere, I have to know that I still have a business cha-chinging over there, and I have to have my eyes on that. Because the minute when the cat's away, the mice will play. You know, we just had to let somebody go that's been with us 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Because she was stealing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and we caught it on camera, and it was sad.
Yeah.
It was a sad thing to see, but it was like, you know what? It happens. It happens. Times are getting harder. You know, I'm not going to go and hammer the girl down, but
Right.
the fact is that it's the time that I have to take to acknowledge. You know, I had to stop doing what I was doing. That's why I hadn't really been podcasting too much, doing all that, because I was doing something and taking away. I was stealing from myself more than what she was stealing. I was stealing from myself.
Wow.
Because God gives you a gift. This is your gift. And if you take your gift to feed something else, then God sees you're not happy with what I've given you. You know? And at what point do you become happy? So with the $3,000 where you were saying it, I had to realize how pretty is the picture? Just because you see me and you know I own all these apartments, but at home I'm crying. I'm stressed out. My feet are hurting. I don't even comb my hair. I was at a point where I had gained 330 pounds. I was huge. I was tired. I was exhausted, you know, and my husband the same. And it was like my kids stressed out because mom's not there, you know, and I'm like, you don't know what the hell I'm doing this for. And it was like, what are you doing it for? You know, and it's like I tell my kids, what are you doing it for?
Wow.
If you cannot be present, then you're doing it for yourself. Because those kids didn't ask to come here, you know? So, yeah,
Wow.
that's just that.
That was a bing, bing, bing.
That
That
was a
a good
bing,
one.
bing, bing.
Yes. But I want to go a little bit back with
Sure.
all of this. I know that people know you with real estate investor, but people don't know how you started. You used to work at McDonald's. You used to do all these things, and you became a leader on every single one of those jobs. And then, what was that pivotal moment when you said, you know, this is when Christina is gonna jump in and start? You know?
Yeah, you said you were 18 years old. That was very young. I also want to know the very first time you acquired a property so young, and what gave you the idea to like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop working at McDonald's. I'm gonna do something bigger for myself. Like, when was that another epiphany?
So McDonald's, I was 14 years old, and my mom taught me to work young.
14 years old?
I was 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they had Job Corps, you know, and where you could work on the weekends. And I was so sad because I went to summer school to see if I could get one of these jobs. Well, my grades weren't good enough, so I was like, it was really my attitude. It was really my attitude. But you know what? Sometimes there's people who have these dominant attitudes. It's because they have dominant power, and you've got to guide them, not tell them stop. Wow. You've got to guide them. Kids, there's some kids that have dominant attitudes. Challenge them. Don't tell them, no, you ain't the adult. You did that. No, challenge them. Yeah. What makes you think you can do that?
I love that.
Yeah, toss the ball back. You're giving me something. Okay, show me what you got. You know, we were just talking about my 3-year-old granddaughter. She's like a little adult, you know, but you know, it's just different. But McDonald's was a starting point. Did I learn a lot? Yes. It taught me structure. It taught me responsibility. It taught me formula. Believe it. I mean, the other day, I was talking to Destiny. Destiny owns a bunch of McDonald's, and it's so crazy because her family, her dad has a story like mine, although that he opened his own McDonald's. But, you know, we were laughing because I still remember the timing on the fries, although I was off a second. You know, it went up a second. New machines, I give me that second. But it was so funny. Like, I know the menu. It's funny because when somebody instills something in you, even behavior, it sticks. It sticks because it was structured behavior. It was structured, the mannerism. You know, people don't teach mannerism anymore. All they do is just figure out, you know, you don't talk to that lady like that. You know, instruct the child how to talk.
How to talk.
Yeah, how to talk. Kids don't know.
Yeah.
We always said, and we said this downstairs, you know, there's no bad employees, there's bad employers because they're not communicating professionally or correctly. So when I started McDonald's, they taught me a lot. Then my mom worked at the hospital and at St. Luke's, and that was my first actual, you know, corporate job. So then I started working at St. Luke's, and I was in the medical field. I worked in ICU, and they gave me a chance to go to Baylor. And they had these volunteer programs. So if you volunteered, then they pretty much were paying for your college with Baylor. So I got all my credits and all that. But back then it was an LVN. Not an RN. Nobody hires LVNs anymore. You're either a medical assistant or an RN. So it's funny how
what is an LVN?
A licensed vocational nurse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
It's 2 years difference, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-year difference, but it's the same thing, you know. And so I was like, eh. So then anyway,
wait, you were wanting to become a nurse?
I wanted to become a nurse. Yeah, all my life. That was my thing. I love the medical field. I ventured off later on in life, having some med spas and stuff like that. But real estate always pulled me in, you know. Even though I was doing what I loved, I went for what money was bringing me, you know. And that's what it was like. My son and I were talking about it last night. He's like, Mom, I wish I could just go back to being simple. I said, there's a cost. There's a cost. You got to pay to play, you know. I mean, he has his beautiful home, his business. He has 2 businesses. He has a hall, a venue that he rents, and then he has his air conditioning company. Then he has his management company. But the 2 main ones that bring, you know, outsourced money is those 2 companies. And then he has what holds him down, which is his properties. But believe me, he made it through this hump. Those properties really had him down on the ground because of the crash. No one was ready for it. No, well, let me not say crash because everybody gets mad at crash, but I know what a crash is. And to the downfall.
Sure.
And so what happened was, you know, his AC company picked up because somebody brought this desert storm in and the AC company picked up. So this is where I try to tell people, find something creative that you can do, but stay on a safe plate. There's people that say, there's people that have businesses that will tell people, oh, quit your job, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
How in the hell can I run my business without my people? You have to award them, give them a percentage, whatever it takes to keep them happy to an extent that it doesn't make you broke either.
Exactly.
But involve them in the growth and the communication of what the projects look like, their thoughts, involve them. What do you feel? So Christina, in a nutshell, that's where I started. And then all of a sudden, being at the hospital, I was able to I went to St. Thomas because I wanted to get my finance degree, certified financial planner. And the reason why I wanted to was because I saw a lot of people, I met a lot of people at the hospital that had health issues. And with those health issues coming, they had a lot of money, but they couldn't save their life with it. They worked for it, they had it, but couldn't save their life with it. So I wanted to learn the finance. My goal was to go into the financial department for the hospital, like a reviewer. So I wanted to be an RN, but in case management. There it is. That was my goal in life. And my mom, well, she was in administration, so I wanted to be where mom was, right? And so I started moving up the chain, and then all of a sudden, I met my husband. I had my son from my previous marriage, and then relationship, marriage, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then, but he's a great guy, great family, whatever. Anyway, I'll talk on that in a minute. But I was off one weekend because I worked 7 to 7 every weekend, and then I had an 8 to 3 during the week. I maxed my Social Security points when I was 24 years old because I had so many jobs. It was crazy. I didn't believe it. I didn't even know what it was. Wow. So I could literally start collecting Social Security.
So you were always working?
I was always working.
Like,
I was always working.
Who you are.
Yeah. My mom never let me go to like parties, house parties, none of that stuff. So my escape was work. Oh, wow. That was my escape. Okay. And so now at 51, how in the hell do I slow down when work has always been my escape? It's my energy. It's my goal. It's my need, So going back to that, it was really crazy because I ended up meeting my husband. I was off. I was washing my car. He drives up. We start talking. Before you know it, within 2 months, I just knew he was the one that I wanted, Awesome. Nothing that I wanted.
Wait. Let me finish. You were washing your car.
I was washing my car. What do I do? She's going to be at the car wash every weekend. It was a Saturday.
Okay.
Keep your car washed. My car's dirty now. Go figure that.
It's time to go.
I gotta keep my car always clean.
We're going to go post up at the car wash.
Oh my God. Yeah. So he drove up and then we just started talking. We started talking. He was nothing. He was not refined at all. My previous relationship, very refined, but going in with him, I was like, I want this challenge. I want this guy.
You like challenges.
Yeah, I love challenges, and he's been my biggest challenge. Hey. And so
he was a little rough around the
very
edges,
rough.
And you cleaned them up.
Yes,
Still not 100% clean, but you're still working on it.
Imagine poor grandpa receiving a call, hi, Mr. Amador, is Michelle there? From that, and how are you? To Michelle there? Yo, Michelle there? And I was like, oh shoot, the hell!
I love this.
And my grandpa was like, he just looked at me, and I was eating, and he was like, what the I was like, oh shoot, yeah, I'm in trouble, Grandpa. I said, no, he's this guy. I met him, and then by the time he drives up and he's knocking at my door, and my grandpa's like looking at him, and he opened the door to look out, and then he grabs the door. My grandpa's grabbing the door, and then he's like,
oh wow, they were kind of playing with the door then.
No, Ephraim was tough, and he's still he's. We've both changed. Yes, we've both changed. It's like you could take the girl out the hood, but you could not take the hood out the girl. And with
that's a good short right there.
Yeah. And everybody always says, well, what ended your first relationship? We were young. We were young. We were different. different backgrounds. All my family was Northside Hood. They weren't hood, but that's just where we were. Our ethnicities play a big part. Not to say you can't have interracial relationships, but it plays a big part.
Because of cultures.
Cultures, church, my parents are pastors. So it's like, it plays a big part, and it wasn't nothing like that. My son's dad's always at Lakewood, you'll see him probably sitting in the front all the time. And his stepmom, she's always, praying, very, very sweet person. I love her more than him, she's a great person. I think that, and that's why I said I wanted to touch on that, because I was very reluctant to accepting her at one point, the Mexican in me. You know what I'm saying? When I saw my grandchildren, being born and stuff, I said, this has to change. This has to change. I have to have a relationship with her and him in order for my grandchildren to not feel empty pieces, Course, yeah. My stepfather now is the pastor, but my actual father, there was no relationship, not much of. You know what I'm saying? Sure, so yeah. I know those gaps. And somewhere along those lines, you try to fill the gaps with the wrong people, because misery loves company. You're not going to find a perfect person to fill that perfect gap. You're going to find a lost soul, because a perfect person has their own own journey. Yeah. But somebody who's lost and wiggly out there, you're going to plug them right in. Yeah. So I've done a lot of evaluating stuff like that in my own life. I journal a lot, and I probably talk to myself.
Of course, yeah.
And I can answer my own questions. Like, think about it. What made it wrong? When I walked in the room, did I tell everyone hello? When I walked out, did I dismiss and tell everyone goodbye? Or did I just walk in like, look at me, this is who I am, walk up to me, You have to be of service. If you're not a person of service, then you're not doing the right thing. God was here, I'm sorry, but God was here and he served, and so who are we not to? That's how that happened. But going back exactly to my husband now, I mean, we go through it, but it's like, it's been a challenge. It's been a struggle. So egos play a big part. Especially when I was 14 years old working, and then I meet this man that tells me, I got this. The f*** you mean you got this? Where do I fit in? I did. That's when the eyes come in, and it's not these eyes. Yeah, it's this eye, and it's like, nah, you have to really understand where partnership starts and where it begins, how it processes, and where it ends, and that's it. Because if you don't, if you get into a relationship and you can't communicate with your partner, hey, we're in a relationship, but a relationship is also a business. How can you tell me you love me, but you have no structure? And what if you get into a car accident tomorrow? What did you pay? What did you not pay? What did this? What happened with that? It happened.
Thinking logical about it too.
Being logical. You have to be open. And Hispanics, we don't talk about things like that. We don't talk about what's going to happen. No, hombre, si me muero, la pinche vieja se va a quedar con todo. If y'all didn't get that,
Con el Sancho?
Yeah, the Sancho's going to get everything. If I die today, she's going to get everything. No, that's not how it works. If it's not on paper, if it's not on writing, it's not going to work that way. Yeah. And just because I'm the wife and, my husband passes, if things aren't written correctly, I can own the estate, but everything else goes into probate.
Wow.
Because 50% can go to me, 50% can go to the kids. It just depends on who you get.
Yes, yeah.
How they woke up that day.
Yeah.
Because they say, oh, the law says this. I've gotten many houses because it didn't go that way.
Tell us a little bit about that, your journey when you started with real estate.
So going into the hospital, I was off that weekend. I met my husband now, and since I always had time to read about properties and taxes and cash flow and where to put money in buckets and all this other stuff, I was able to learn it but not practice it. Learning and practice is two different things. There's a lot of people teaching, but have you practiced it? Are you really setting somebody up for the future or for failure? Which one are you doing? People will say, oh, there's these strategic ways. I know of a strategic way, and I'll share one with you. So I did go to a class with this lady. She was talking about subject 2. We all had the group. We all met up or whatever. And she did tell me what to do. So a subject 2 property came up. Subject 2 means you have a house and you're falling behind on notes, and I pay that, and then I give you a little bit, you move, and I take over the note. The problem is there are certain ways to structure that I didn't know. I just took it outright. I talked openly about it, and somebody went and called the bank, reported it. You know, boom, boom, boom. I had a bank knocking on my door and telling me that I needed to pay off that debt because it was not mine, or they were going to take the property. So anyway, long story short, after learning about that, I was asking everybody and their mama that's out there, so-and-so lending, so-and-so funding, so-and-so this, and they're at every event. And by the time you know it, they couldn't even help me. There was one man who was alive back then. His name's Mr. Kennedy. AC knows him. And he passed away, but he told me, he says, Christina, you have all this property paid off. You have money. You are your own bank. And I was like, what do you mean I'm my own bank? I didn't have the credit score. I didn't care. I didn't care about my credit.
You're like, I have cash.
I got cash. Yeah, I got cash. That ego, that ego. I got cash. I don't need that shit. Whatever. Catch me. You ain't gonna get me. I got 7 years and it's gonna be gone. I had that mentality. But so with that being said, it was like, damn, what happened? So then I started talking. He introduced me to this one person, and we went to this bank, this broker bank thing and place, and then they gave us 75% on the dollar, and we're like, so 10 houses, 750,000. Wow. So we owed 800 and whatever. So so there, we do the math. We did about a good 10 houses, but anyway, we were able to get out of that debt. And it was so crazy because we thought we were going to have to sell our souls.
And it wasn't another debt, right?
It was another,
So you used some of that cash you got from the equity of those properties to be able to put it somewhere else.
Yes. And that was it. Wow. So I was my own bank all along. We were, my husband and I, we were our own bank. And we didn't understand that we had that. And we still have that. I bought houses years ago for, like, we were talking about it a couple minutes ago, $15,000, $8,000. I bought one from AC for like $8,000 or $8,900. I still rent that house today.
Wow.
You still rent it?
I still rent it $1,200 today. Every year. Every year, taxes are low, about $4,000. So do the math. I make about $12,000. And then the other 2 months pay off the taxes and anything that needs. But I make $12,000 off of that $10,000 investment. But remember, it was $8,000 closing, $10,000 survey, and then whatever I put in, $30,000 to repair it. So I'm in under $50,000. But I've had that thing probably for like 12 years now.
Wow.
So, so those are the type of investments, but I had the money for that at the time. Remember, I was hood rich. I was hood rich, and I was like, shoot, and it was like, but it's the truth. You can take the girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the girl. So you're not gonna trick me. You're not gonna make me look stupid. I've been through it, been there, done that. So it's like, it's that kind of thing. But so I just started monopolizing one by one, asking people that were renting houses, hey, do you want to sell them? But it was real funny because we were able to get apartments before we bought houses. It was real, it was just crazy. When my husband and I bought our first home, and we lived there for so long, when we bought our first home, it was like, I would always say, do we own this house, or does this house own me?
The assets and liability you were talking about?
In that aspect, but also because I wanted a different lifestyle. But because I was playing it safe, I wouldn't move. You know what I'm saying? I was growing whatever I was growing. I didn't want to move. I'd stay there.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So then I started seeing other strategies. And that's why it's important to network with the right people. So you rent out this one, and you go and buy something else, $5,000-$10,000 down when it was available. Or go lease where you want to live. you know, and rent what you own. I understand that concept now, you know, and some people are like, oh man, she lives in an apartment. No, I don't live in an apartment, but they say about other friends of mine, she lives in an apartment and she's over here saying she does this and that. It's okay. She's living in her own comfort zone.
Yeah.
But her growth isn't changing.
I have one friend that he rents out 4 houses to be able to afford his high rise in the 50th floor somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's the way he's living the life
That he wants.
he wants. You know, while other people are enjoying something they probably couldn't had before. They stepped up as well, you know? So it's okay. Everybody lives in their purpose.
Interesting.
So question is, I know it's hard right now. It's tough because of markets unstable. It's no crash. But if somebody wanted to start something like, instead of like myself, I'm gonna put myself an example. I never had a home. So say, instead of me getting a home, because now you can get an FHA to get like a multifamily, like a 4 or 6.
That's a conventional, I believe.
Right, conventional.
Yeah.
And then live there and rent the other 3 and rinse and repeat. Is in this time on 2023, can you still do that and make it happen?
You can do it. It's just it's really it's hidden figures. Okay, the hidden figures that I call it is a year to 2 years ago we were selling houses for 400,000. Let's say 500,000 for number's sake, or 100,000. 100,000, right? It was 3%. Your payment was 3,000 or whatever, you know, with taxes and everything in it. So if it was at 3% on 100, then, you know, when you extend it 30 years, of course, it's going to be lower. So people were looking for the higher cost home at a lower interest rate. Try to sell that house today.
Wow.
So the house that you bought for 100 lost about 20 to 25,000 of its value, minus what you put in it. You're not completely upside down, but you're not better than anybody just because you have a 3% rate. Not if you bought it too high, you know? So right now, the same houses, the interest rate is 6, but the house is 50. You kind of get the math? It was 3 at 100, and now it's 6 at 50.
Yes,
Oh, wow. So it's a higher percentage.
It's
for
a higher
the-
percentage right now. The thing is, on 100, you're paying 3,000. On 100 at 6%, you're paying 6. So it's the payments.
Yeah, yeah.
It's your debt to income ratio. I mean, that's the way I look at it. A lot of people are like, you know, all the other little mathematicians they have their own little figures. But that's why I do what I do and they do what they do.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's working for me.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but a lot of people are plunging, you know, and a lot of people that bought homes in mud tax areas, they didn't understand that they had a separate tax. They didn't understand they had an HOA. They didn't understand all these other things. Oh, they don't remember when they came out the apartment about cutting the grass and then getting a $15 notice that ends up being an attorney fee for $1,200. Those are unexpected costs when you don't educate yourself before you jump into something. My husband says I overanalyze. No, I try to make sure those numbers are going to stand correct.
You have to.
Yeah,
You have
you
to.
just have to.
Yeah.
And he's a numbers guy too.
He's a numbers guy. I mean, it takes me, you know, but he's a numbers guy. He's
Yeah.
a very smart man.
When it comes to people who like, what's some advice that you would actually give to people when they're just kind of like maybe their 20s or even 30s, like to kind of really set themselves up for success when it comes to like their finances? Do you think, because a lot of people nowadays, they want to be entrepreneurs and they want to try different things and things like that, but you mentioned something earlier that you always wanted to have like a safe, like always have some type of money coming in, like a safe net,
Right.
to be able to always venture out to be an entrepreneur,
Right.
all the different businesses. What is your advice on that stuff?
If you have a job, you're blessed. Right now, if you have a job, you're blessed. If you're not being evicted, you're blessed. Okay? There's a lot of people out there that they're falling. And it was their arrogance that got them in their position today. You know, they're like, oh, how in the hell can she say that? I'll say that because you wanted to live for the look, not for your reality. Okay, everybody's like, you know, is it hurting you? 20% loss on my end right now. It's a loss, but we've learned to strategically try to stay in a safe zone, not outlive my means. You know, a lot of people say, you know, oh my God, you know, if I were you, I'd have $1 million home. I'd do this. Well, go do it. Go do it. When you get to where I'm at, let's see if you really do it.
Wow.
I'm not. Now, it comes a point where you're making so much money that you need write-offs. Why not? You know, it's a why not. You got to put your money somewhere.
Yeah.
But don't just always put it in you. You have to have an abundance mentality. Give to something. Find a charity. Find a business that's starting. Do different things. Help people, you know, but don't help so much that you're not helping yourself either, you know? And that's the thing. You have to balance it. Yeah, you have to balance it. But starting today, I would say educate with the right people. You know, there's a lot of wholesalers
gurus
everywhere.
And all these cheap people,
and I know some of them aren't doing anything they say they're doing, and I'm just like, let me get out of here. You know, let me get out of here. This isn't my crowd. You know, this is not. You know, I did this, I did that, and I created this, and I created that, and I sold this, and it's a lie. Yeah. It's a lie. I see it, and I'm just like, I'm not going to put my name on you. No. That, you know, that's a price tag. You know what that is? It's a price tag. It's going to cost me trust from somebody else. And when you're always the victim to somebody, then you're the problem. So I just walk away. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, no. Yeah, so always remember that. When you put your name on somebody, you're putting a price tag on yourself. So you have to watch who you socialize with. You know, there's just always something. You know, I just went through it, and I really don't care. It's like, whatever. You know, there's no competition in the game. My kids are out there killing it still. I'm not responsible for what my kids do. You know what I'm saying? If my kids took your deal, oh well, you know. But then I don't want to be like Tupac in them right now, like, you did it, you took that deal.
I got it.
Nah, you know, it's okay. You know, it's a different world. You know, it's a different world. So with me right now, I'm staying in my lane, and I just said, you know what, it was too much for me, and I just stepped out of the crowds, because crowds cost you. It's not costing me nothing to go get a free drink, but it's costing me the time I have left with my grandkids after 6 o'clock. My priorities, you know. I'm going to be walking around with bags under my eyes, kidney killing me, all because I want to hang out with something that's killing me. What's serving me, you know? Rather go to Bible study, you know, watch YouTube and something educational. I don't even listen to the radio much anymore, unless it's spiritually going to calm me because I am a lioness, you know, or if it's actually going to teach me something. If not, then I really try to give an hour of my time to purpose and God in the morning, not praying for a miracle, praying to say thank you, you know. That's how you should pray. You know, you
start your day with gratitude.
With gratitude.
I woke up today.
Yes, you know, with gratitude. I think that's so important, and we miss that because our end goal is our goal. Yes. God's there. You're supposed to help me. No. I'm supposed to protect you. I'm supposed to ease you and clear your path when you're going in the right direction. But that's not the road I told you to take. Because if it was the road I told you to take, it would not be that bumpy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And you lost a lot of weight too.
Thank you. I did. I've been really, really working on it. I'm thinking of partnering with this person because she wants a location, and I have locations everywhere.
Yeah, you do. Yes.
I have locations everywhere. So she wants to have an actual location. And what I did was I've been doing biotherapies. So I know my food type. Now, here's the thing. I still do my Herbalife shakes because that's my candy, right? So I'll still do a shake in the morning every now and then, only 2 times a week now or 3. And I'll do my shake. But then the confusion was, what do I eat? I watch all the videos, the ketos, the this, the that, and everything that was on there was not matching my body type. So even the exercise I was doing, I was overexerting myself. Oh, wow. And so, yeah. And, you know, it's really funny because my son told me, and my daughter-in-law, she was like, I don't know who I'm talking to. Like, before you would just rant, blah, 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 you know? And it was like I was trying to get it out of breath. And she's like, now you just really, like, you're talking. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah. And I think what it is because I'm not feeling agitated. Yeah. Stomach's not growling, and, you know, I've achy because something that causes inflammation in my body. Yeah. So, a lot of that has changed for me. So I'm really considering it. Well, my first business that I started, not my first, I've had so many, but one of them was I had like the Sona Med Spas, but Sona's on there, but I had Sorona's, so it was like different. And so I had started doing that, had all the machines and all that, but real estate always pulled me back because that was the money. I did good with, the other businesses. But the thing was, my money was really in the real estate, and it was really good back then. Well, now that it's taking its turn, it's like, you know what, let me just relax and do what I like, So it was a long discussion with my husband because you don't need to be doing that. No, I don't need to. It's what I want to do.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. I can literally say I want to do something, and it monetizes, Honestly, real estate doesn't pay me nothing unless I make my assignment. People don't pay me anything because they've never paid me a penny, I've always just been of service to somebody, help them and try to guide them. Now, if they try to do something different, that's their fault. But I've always been an open book for people. And so it's like, I really want to do what I want to do, So, yeah.
But I really like how, that one time we were talking about how even though you're very successful in everything you do, you're, regardless of like the money, regardless of all that, you're always like finding ways of like, it's not like creating new businesses or like flipping like different products or services or whatever it is that you're doing. You're always doing something to generate.
Yeah.
But it's not because you need it, but that's like a part of you.
It's a part of me. It's my personality. Thank you. Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
Thank you. No, but it is, and it's like I said, I started young, so my energy was work.
Yes.
And she brought that out to me for me to understand, because I've never been able to understand until today.
Oh, you did.
I understood myself.
Wow.
Thank you.
Hey.
You know what? Communication is therapy.
You get a bonus.
Communication is therapy. Honestly,
That's
you
true.
can hear. You might hear something come out of you one day that you didn't realize was there. And we bottle everything in out of fear. We bottle everything in because what are they going to think? What are they going to say? Did I say it wrong? I'm going to hurt her feelings. But you walk around with that nudge and that bag of I should have said it, but you didn't, and you know what? Sometimes God puts people in your path for a reason so they can understand themselves, so they can understand themselves. And always remember, every test, today I was talking to a friend of mine and she was telling me, my son was graduating a block away from the stadium. The car broke down. They had to push me in. She asked the person that was helping them push the car, can you just take him to the stadium so he can walk? So she stays behind. She's trying to see her son walk. This is a mom's thing. She's trying to see him walk. The car didn't start. That happened. And I said, don't worry. Don't worry. This is going to be a good conversation because your son's going to appreciate everything you did. I said, see, mothers walk around.
I know, making me want to cry.
Mothers walk around, and I told her this. Whenever you walk, shimmy. And she was like, what? I said, shimmy. It's for all those invisible ribbons. And girl, I'm going to get there. It's for all those invisible ribbons that moms have on ourselves that the kids don't tell us you won this award, but those are our shimmies. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. We have all these ribbons on us and they kind of just shimmy around.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. You
now.
get it?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, so that's one thing. Shimmy with it, so.
Anything you want to ask?
No, I'm not.
I know, she's
all emotional.
We're both all emotional.
Everything that you're saying makes sense. Like, I read somewhere, I'm not sure where, that if you really want to be rich, you have to be a person of service.
Yes.
Yeah. So everything that you're saying is making sense to me. Everything that, totally. Great guess, man.
We can go for hours.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, but seriously, mothers walk around like we want that plaque.
Yes.
Just like the kids want that plaque. When we get the plaque on the wall and we see that they did graduate, that they did do this, but they did do that, that's not your accomplishment. That's theirs. Our accomplishment is they made it. And every little ribbon it took for them to get there, they will never admit or see it. Because when the kids are bigger, I did it. You weren't there. I was at work. What got you there?
Yeah.
You know? So that's the kind of thing. So we have to wear our own ribbons. And they're not always seen because mine are very colorful. Yeah, shimmy. Yeah, so that's the thing, you know? So that's y'all's new word, you know? Shimmy with it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but you know, it's like women give up so much more than what men do. Men give up their strength, their physical person. They bring money because that is the nature. That's the way it's supposed to be. We give up our dreams. We give up our time. We give up our energy. We'll give our kidney if we have to, you know? So there goes the tear. But that's the truth. That's what we'll give. And you can't expect anybody to applaud you because you did it, because it's expected. You know, it's just expected. Just like it's expected for dad to work, it's not expected for dad to be at the work and be at the PTA meeting and be at basketball practice and be at ballet practice. We're split. We're octopuses. You know, we have so many arms. I'd be great to be a dude and just go work and come home. And I know there's more to it than that. You know, because men also give up things themselves when they do step to the plate and be that responsible man. I get that, you know. And if relationships separate you, it's okay. Just be the financial abler and not enabler, you know.
I'm not crying. I'm not crying.
This is water. The water splash. Man. Hey, that's okay. Men have to cry, even in a podcast.
Men have to cry.
Okay, let's switch it up a little bit.
Ah.
What do you like to do for fun?
What I like to do
like you
for
work a
fun,
lot. You build your legacy. You build your amazing portfolio.
Right.
So how do you unwind? What does Christina do to relax?
I just show up wherever, like, you know, today, the other day with my friend Lupita, whatever, or be with my grandkids. They're so much fun.
Do you guys take any vacations together?
We do. We just went to St. Thomas and the Virgin Islands, and
nice.
I was just like, what the hell is this? Now, it did bring, but I look at everything, and my husband says that I'm a soursop because he says I look at the sad part of everything. I'm not. I appreciate everything. These people, a pack of chicken that we take for granted, we'll probably let it sit out, let it stink, and throw it away.
Right.
These people, $38 for a family pack of chicken.
Yep.
Chicken's a delicacy out there.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, and...
That's all I eat, chicken, puro chicken.
I love my chicken.
I go broke over there.
He's like, I can't go to the Virgin Islands.
Don't go in there anymore.
I've been to Antigua
Where's that?
at the Virgin Islands.
I don't know where. I don't know anything.
St. John's.
Okay, St. John's.
Yeah.
Yes, it's beautiful
It's so
over there.
beautiful.
St. Thomas is more dirty.
I caught my own fish.
Really?
So I didn't have
Wow,
that. I didn't have that problem.
Sure. As expensive as everything was, I was ready to get my little spear and pick my fish
We're
out.
eating today.
We're eating today. It was
Forget the chicken. Got fish.
I got fish. No, I really did. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, it was a different experience, but it brought me back down to appreciation of how much
crazy.
we have. You know,
Sorry. Did you eat chicken when you came back, or?
I did. I slow cooked my chicken.
Hey, man, I'm gonna take it serious.
Man, I made fideo with chicken, arroz con pollo. I was at it. I was like, we're gonna stretch this chicken.
How do you
Man.
reward yourself?
Yeah.
Just hold on, baby. Sorry, guys, I got a grandbaby back there.
It's okay.
Get LOL. Yeah, that's grandbaby. I'm grandma today. I guess the way I reward myself really is just lie down and eat popcorn and watch TV. I can't eat popcorn no more because corn is real bad for my body type. And I was an elote girl, and that was my thing. It used to be donuts was my reward. 10 o'clock every night that I could.
Yeah.
Donut. Get that donut. Yeah, so donut. And then if it wasn't donuts, I was always bringing donuts. So if it wasn't donuts, it was a snow cone and corn.
Yeah.
So I can't do those things the same. I can still do my snow cone at a different level, but it's crazy because everybody's like, now you're talking about food and diets and stuff. But the thing is that it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
It makes me a better person. It makes me more available for people. It makes me a different person. You know what I'm saying? So because I don't feel bad inside anymore. So it's pretty good. But that's how I reward myself.
That is
Or I'll just go to Ross. I do give myself a $120 budget. I go to Ross, I go to Dee Dee's, and I go wherever, and I just find little things just to dress myself up different. That's my reward. It's my me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, put back into me.
And how did you two meet? You and Jesus.
I saw Jesus doing a boy power
The
wash.
pressure washing.
Pressure washing.
Okay, cool.
He was doing videos, and I think somebody was ragging on him one day, and I was like, dude, like, this is somebody out here trying to do a hustle.
Yeah.
How can you do that? And so I just started supporting him from there, and that was how it happened. And then he went from that. You were gonna do clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That
then
was the fashionista.
Yeah,
that
the
I wanted to be.
fashionista.
You told me.
yeah, and then he did. What else did you do? Then you did one other thing, but then you started podcasting,
then
recording
I
on
did
your
it,
own,
yeah.
just talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I would just I would watch it. My husband was like, there you go again, watching that dude. I was like, it's something to do,
Yeah.
something to do. And then,
He come at my door and say, hey, man, what's going on?
yeah, he was ugly at first. Like, why are you watching this guy? Like, dude, it's just somebody trying as much as I've tried. You understand that hustle when you had to hustle.
Yes.
You respect that hustle. So that's the thing, So that was very important, I think. Yeah.
And then from there, we just built the relationship. We
Yeah.
got to meet each other and learn more about what we do and what she does. That's what I learned about real estate.
Yeah,
From
and
her.
he
Oh,
ventures
yes.
a lot. He ventures a lot like I've ventured a lot. I've had daycare centers. I've had salons, all car lots. We've had a lot of things. But at the end of the day, the thing that really has generated income is not so much as the real estate. It does now because majority of it's paid for. So it does. But in the beginning, it was not. So we needed a job. So when we invested in the store, because I had a restaurant, sold the restaurant and all that, and then we invested in the store, and that's that daily compound, but daily revenue that comes in. I'm sitting here and it's like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching
Nice.
at 11 locations. So, but I open the locations for the real estate. So that I can, it pays itself off later on when I do need the equity, or the liquidity, I'll draw that money out. But now I don't just draw out the liquidity on the building. I have a business and I have an income. I have material, equipment. So there's other resources to grow and to also have liquidity.
Nice. So
Yeah.
do you have like your own real estate school, investing school? You
No,
need to.
Wow, that's a good idea.
actually, this is crazy, but my daughter-in-law on 14th Street, we couldn't sell the house for what she wanted. So it was like, you know what? She thought about it and she's like, my son, he was like, we're going to open our own thing now. And they're doing it. So it's coming up soon, but it's on 14th Street, right there in the Heights, and they're going to start training and developing.
Yeah,
because
you hold very valuable information.
thank you, I appreciate that. It's been a lot of
And
experience.
people are always looking to, for a mentor.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to learn from people with experience, and
Yeah,
I think.
you'd be very successful. At,
Thank you.
Teaching.
Yeah, it's gonna be them. It's gonna be them.
Cool.
So
Let
I'll
me
probably
know.
pop in. I'll probably pop in with them every now and then because she wants to grow her own team,
Yeah.
and so she's a realtor and she wants to become a broker. So that is her thing. So that's where she's leaning towards. Hold on, baby. That's the baby. Okay, give me a second. I got 5 minutes.
Is that Efrain's wife?
Which one? Yes,
Yes, okay,
Ephraim's
okay.
wife. So my daughter's joining her, and then we're gonna have different things in there. So we're gonna have the insurance there, the lending company in there. Everything's gonna
Oh, wow.
be in its own
cool.
own little
I
realm.
like that.
Yeah.
And then I know you wanted to share something that what you're working on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, because I've always had the medical background, I think I know that I am going to partner up in that biogenics, and we're going to go ahead and start doing that. So I'll probably be like the little feel-good lady, so if anybody wants to feel good, reach out to me, and starting mid-September, We're going to open up, and then we're going to start taking appointments. It's going to be by appointment only. So we'll be doing all the blood work. We'll be doing all the body scans, and we're going to give people their information, their diet, see what their lifestyle is like.
That's really cool.
And just adjust them, because it's done a lot of service for me. So I do believe in her product, and I do believe in what it is. I believe in everything, but I believe in people, because we are our product. We are the product. So, and I think before I had put my name on it, I really needed to see how it worked, and oh my God, it really did. Like, I even had lipo, and it did not leave me small. It just made me horrible. I mean, I was big on one side, small on the other. I was struggling, bleeding all over the place. I had internal bleeding. And it was like I was going through those things on my own and not feeling well. And then I just got fat again. So I was like, shoot, what is it? So then my niece Jackie called me, Quacky Jackie, Jackie Chan. What you want? Yeah, so she... So she called me. She's like, hey, I want you to, meet this lady. I think y'all could pair up hand in hand or whatever. And I really didn't think so. I was like, okay, Jackie, I'll meet her. So we met. Hold on, baby. So then we went ahead and we did it. She's like, let me just do it. And she tested me and everything. And the first 6 days, I lost 11 pounds. I went from a 16 to tight 12, good 14, and I was like, oh my God, my thing has always been my arms, and I'm just starting to drop everywhere. And then but it's not keto. It's not keto. Keto almost killed me. In 2019, I ended up in the hospital with rhabdomyolysis because I was eating so much proteins. The proteins took over. My kidneys were shutting down.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they were going to do dialysis, but I started sucking on Pedialyte.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went from okay to dialysis right away.
Wow.
So, and it's what I'm saying. There's so much information out there that can be misinformed.
No, you really have to test yourself. My friend just got a test, and wheat was doing horrible for herself.
Wheat. And I'm a wheat eater, and avocado. And I eat wheat bread and avocado every morning. That was my thing, with coffee. And I have an allergy to beans. And after they gave it to me, I was like, how in the hell am I going to do this? And I just did it. And it's crazy. I eat more fruit now. I can tolerate the fruit. I can tolerate the vegetables. But I feel better. I feel so much better. And my blood pressure was always a 200.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's 113.
Yeah,
Oh,
you see
wow.
that
Yeah,
on the
over.
pictures?
And on the pictures are there.
Yep.
Wow.
Weight down, blood pressure down. And this is the most disgusting shit, I will tell you, is that I was supposed to go have a surgery for polyps, in my intestinal tract, and they fell out. They were in my restroom because I check. I'm like the doo-doo doctor. Because that's what tells you when you're sick.
Yeah.
You look for signs. So I'm like, how am I today? But no, there was literally a polyp. The polyps fell out. So I went to the doctor, and she's like, you're not going to need that surgery because the polyps are gone. I'm still seeing my doctor, but
They're gone.
they fell out on their own. So I asked her. I
By
said,
changing your diet?
just those 6 days of the diet.
Wow.
No,
6 days?
6
Wow.
days. No teas, no this, no that. Just the diet. Now I did have tea, which was my green
What are a
tea.
few things that you were actually consuming during those 6 days?
I eat eggs twice a week because dairy is not friendly to me. So I do have dairy 2 times a week, and that'll be my eggs or whatnots. But when I eat my eggs, I have to add like a cayenne pepper to kind of get my metabolism going.
Oh, okay.
And no orange juices, no sodas, just waters, teas. I do take electrolytes, so I'll do a half a Pedialyte or whatever. And that's it. A lot of chai, because chai is not an actual bean per se.
The chai seeds or
yeah, the chai seeds.
Okay.
So that's it. And so I eat a lot of nopales, I blend them in my juices.
Yeah.
They're
And
really good for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I do
like
try to incorporate that as a green shake, and that's it. It's just food. I mean, what I was spending on so much stuff, I did learn how to take my vitamins. I was taking my vitamins wrong, so I wasn't consuming my E's with oils or fats, and I needed to, because if you don't take it, it's a water soluble, so it just does nothing for you.
Right.
I was taking vitamin K, and vitamin K needs to be supplemented with D and magnesium for it to I went to a cellular level, and I understand it. So it's like,
That's good.
oh my God, it's such a
pretty
different
cool.
thing for me. So yeah.
And
That's
she's
awesome.
documenting it too.
Yeah,
All
and I'm
of it.
documenting
You
it.
are,
The
yeah.
food, this food itself, so it's
Yeah.
like it works. She proved it for herself.
Yeah,
Fruit,
so I
that's
still ate barbacoa with everybody on
sounds
Sunday.
good.
I just did it in a lettuce wrap,
Oh,
know.
okay, okay.
That was my lettuce wrap. So yeah, so it's just those.
Barbacoa and a lettuce wrap.
Hey,
That's
I can still eat my barbacoa. Yeah.
No tortilla,
Yeah.
but
No tortilla, but I did have it. Like that's my spring barbacoa roll.
good. All right, so I guess the last question I wanted to ask you: what is the type of like legacy that you want to leave in the world?
My greatest legacy is going to be my community. Honestly, that's going to be my community. You can leave things, and if you see a lot of old, broken, busted buildings, people thought that was their legacy. People think these fancy cars are their legacy. No, it's what you leave behind. It's the memories you leave with your kids. It's the memories you leave with people and how people talk about you. The messages people send you just really make you feel good. You know what I'm saying? That's your legacy. When you're gone, people still talk about you in a great way. I think that's just so important.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
look at that. Steve Jobs is gone and we still talk about him.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
One last question. What would you say to someone that wants to give up, that started their own business, and sometimes they want to give up? What are some uplifting words you can say to them?
I would listen to them and actually tell them. And honestly, I'm like a problem solver. I love puzzles since I was little, and I would try to figure it out for them, just to give it a second chance, try it, but don't give up, because it's very hard to get through a door. And if you've made it thus far, just keep going. People don't like mentors. People don't like paying. They think, why am I going to pay? Why am I going to do this? Don't blow your life savings on it. 15, 20, 30,000, 3,000, all that. No. Find somebody that's very realistic in your budget and understands where you need to be. But get that information from somebody that, let's say if you wanted a gas station, go to a gas station, talk to a cashier. One day you'll find the owner there. Believe me. Talk to that owner or talk to the manager, because the manager knows more that's going on than the owner. What would you do different if you had this gas station? How does it go? Just talk to other people in your zone, because if in your you need to be an environment that serves you, not an environment that has no purpose for you, because that's the only reason you feel you're not making it, because you're in the wrong circle. Okay, all you're doing when people are up on a stage and you're just promoting them to go higher, and you're just staying below. Promote yourself within as well, and you'll be just as high as those people.
You got me excited.
Well, that's what it is, I mean, talk about you.
Yeah.
Talk about you. I've seen y'all start this. I've seen where y'all started with just the phone and the camera and this and a microphone. I've seen it. So I respect it. It's a respect. You've got all my attention and all my respect. If I need to learn about podcasting, am I going to go to a YouTube channel? No, I'm going to come here. Okay, you know what? I'd love to do some broadcasting for myself. I'd love for y'all to do it. But then if I needed just some small shorts or this or that, can you teach me? But value your time. Value your time and monetize it, because believe me, the next person, they want to be you, but let it cost them a little bit. They'll respect it more.
Wow. That's
Good.
powerful.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Drop that mic, girl.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
Christina Franco, Facebook, Christina. My phone number is always there, 832-788-7646. Yeah.
You'll find her at the Martin's Hardware.
Yeah. 6220 Jensen.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm always there. So now we have the corporate office up there, and that's where I do a lot of my training. So it's good.
Okay, awesome.
It's good.
Well, again, thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. Your knowledge,
thank you
experience,
guys.
And it's always
for
a pleasure talking to you and everything. So
yeah.
Thank you, Christina.
And all you folks, don't give up.
Don't give up. Keep on going. Keep on pushing forward.
Bye.